As you can see here, 12 into 23. That means the number 12 should be taken 23 times. What we are going to do here is split one of the numbers and then merge the calculations. Taking 12 23 times is a little difficult task. So what we'll do here is split the number 23. That means break it into two parts as per our convenience. For example, 23 here can be taken as 20 plus 3. 23 is nothing but 20 plus 3. So this question is same as 12 into 20 plus 3. Now if we try to look at it, it's like 12 taken 20 times and 12 taken 3 times. That means instead of taking 12 23 times, what we do here is first take it 20 times and then take it 3 more times. So 12 when we take 20 times, we get 240. Why? Because 12 into 2 is 24. So 12 into 20 will be 240. So this product here will be equal to 240. And that 12 into 3 is 36. So 12 into 3 here is 36. And when we add both of them, that means when we merge these calculations, we get the required answer, that is 276. 240 plus 36 is 276. If you remember friends, speed maths is all about being comfortable with the given numbers. So you need to follow only that method which is comfortable for you. Let us take a few more examples to understand this concept of split and merge. Let's look at the second one here, that is 16 into 19. And as you can see here, the number 16 has to be taken 19 times. As 20 minus 1. 19 is equal to 20 minus 1. So instead of taking the number 16 19 times, what we do here is first take it 20 times and then return it 1 time. That is nothing but first we are taking it 20 times, and because we have got it 1 time extra, we need to return it back. Because the actual calculation is 16 into 19. So 16 into 20, that means 16 when we take 20 times will be equal to 320. But because 16 into 2 is 32. So 16 into 20 is 320. But we very well understand that we have taken it 1 time extra, so we need to return that. We need to return 16 1 time. 16 into 1 is equal to 16. So from 320, we need to take this 16 out. We have to return that. That means 320 minus 16. 320 minus 16 is equal to 304. And moving on to the last one, 97 into 17. Friends, if you look at it, it appears to be difficult. But then, if you get the right idea, this is one of the easiest calculations that we have. Here, 97 should be taken 17 times. Or otherwise, we can say that the number 17 has to be taken 97 times. Now, a simple way of doing it would be taking 17 97 times. Now, 97 can be split as 100 minus 3. 97 is nothing but 100 minus 3. So, we know that 17 which has to be taken 97 times can be first taken 100 times and then returned 3 times. 17 into 100 is 1700. And 17 into 3 is 51. If you have no idea what 17 into 3 is, then again break 17 as 10 plus 7. So 17 into 3 will become 10 into 3 plus 7 into 3. 10 into subtracting 51, you can directly say that 1700 minus 51 is equal to 1649. Is 23 into 17. What we have done here is 23 taken 20 times and then returned 3 times. Now that's a simple procedure. We can take it 20 times, we get 460, then return it 3 times, that is 69. So 460 minus 69 will give us 391. But if you are a smart student, the same question can also be answered in a much better way. Now before I tell that method to you, let me just find out how many of you know that a plus b into a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. Now this is one very simple algebraic formula that we have learned in our high school. Simply knowing the formula is not enough. You should be in a position to apply it properly. For example, if you look at the last question here, 23 into 17, what we have done is, we have taken 17 as 20 minus 3. At the same time, if you take 23 as 20 plus 3, this question will be in the form of 20 plus 3 into 20 minus 3. So 23 into 17 is as good as 20 plus 3 into 20 minus 3, which is quite similar to the form of a plus b into a minus b. So the answer here should be a squared minus b squared, where a is equal to 20 and b equals to 3. So 20 squared minus 3 squared, that is 400 minus 9, which is equal to 391. So friends, try to be smart and use this concept of a plus b into a minus b equals to a square minus b square wherever possible. Let us take a few more examples. Let's say the question is 83 into 97. Now, if you look at the question, it appears to be difficult, and going by split and merge is not so easy. But then, if you get the right idea, that is a plus b into a minus b application, this question can be answered in just 2 to 3 seconds. So 83 here can be taken as 90 minus 7 into 97 can be taken as 90 plus 7. So if you look at it, it is in the form of a plus b into a minus b, or a minus b into a plus b. For both the cases, answer has to be a squared minus b squared. So here it will be 90 squared minus 7 squared. We know that 90 squared is 8100 and 7 squared is 49. So 8100 minus 49 will be equal to 8051. So that is how we can solve a difficult question like 83 into 97 simply by using a plus b into a minus b equals to a squared minus b squared. Examples now. For example, 46 into 54. Now if you observe, this is 50 minus 4 and this one is 50 plus 4. So the answer should be 50 squared minus 4 squared. 2500 minus 16. That should be equal to 2484. How quickly can you get the answers for these 5 questions? And your time starts now. So let us now see what are the correct answers for these 5 questions. Now the first one here is 24 into 36. This can be taken as 30 plus 6 into 30 minus 6. 30 squared minus 6 squared. 900 minus 36 is 864. Now the second one here is 70 plus 2 into 70 minus 2. That's like 70 squared minus 2 squared. So 4900 minus 4 is 4896. The next one here is 41 into 44. Now 41 into 44 cannot be taken in the form of a plus b into a minus b. That is the reason here we need to get the answer with the help of split and merge. That's like 41 is taken 44 times. So take it 40 times and then take it 4 times. 41 into 4 is 164. So 41 into 40 will be 1640. So 41 taken 40 times is 1640 and taken 4 times is 164. 1640 plus 164 will be 1804, 1804. Now you might be wondering, when a plus b into a minus b is not applicable, why was this question given along with the set? The point to be understood is you should be able to decide and apply where a plus b into a minus b is applicable and where it is not. So if I give you all the questions which are based on a plus b into a minus b, then there is no fun of taking a test. So remember, it's all about getting the right idea at the right time. So you should practice enough so that as soon as you see the numbers, you get the right idea. That is, which is the best way to get the answer in the least possible time. Now one point which I would like to mention here is how to decide whether a plus b into a minus b is applicable or not. The simple point here is the formula a plus b into a minus b is applicable if and only if the difference between the two numbers is even. For example, 24 and 36, the difference is 12. So that's an even number. Hence, I can go for a plus b into a minus b. Similarly, 72 and 68, the difference is 4. So a plus b into a minus b is possible. But when it comes to 41 and 44, the difference is just 3. So if you try to take this as a plus b into a minus b, you will get something in decimal, and hence it becomes a complicated calculation. So never apply a plus b into a minus b for something where the difference between the two numbers is an odd number. The next one here is 61 into 69. The difference between these two numbers is 8, which is even. So I can go for a plus b into a minus b. So that's like 65 plus 4 and 65 minus 4. So the answer should be 65 squared minus 4 squared. But again the problem is, how should we find out what is 65 square? That we shall learn at a later point of time. As of now, you simply remember that 65 square is 4225. And let me tell you friends, finding out squares of numbers ending with 5 is a very simple task. Anyway, we shall discuss that at a later point of time. Let's move on with 65 square as 4225. So 4225 minus 16, that is 4 square, will be equal to 4209. So that's the answer for question number 4. And the last one here is 21 into 18. I can understand that a plus b into a minus b is not applicable because the difference is 3, which is odd. So let's go for split and merge.
21 20 times and return it 2 times. 21 into 20 will be 420 and 21 into 2 will be 442. 420 minus 42 will be equal to 378.
Which will help us to multiply any type of two-digit numbers. Now the two numbers here are 89 and 64. Multiplication of these two numbers in this technique involves 3 steps. The first step is to multiply both the units places. Second step is cross multiplication of units places and tens places. And the third step is to multiply the tens places. Now in these 3 steps, we can directly write down the answer. So let us see how to go ahead with this procedure. As I've mentioned, the first step here is to multiply the units places. That is 9 into 4. 9 into 4 is 36. So we take 6 in the answer and 3 gets carried forward. The second step here is cross multiplication of units places and tens places. That means 8 should be multiplied with 4 and 6 has to be multiplied with 9. And their sum has to be obtained. So 8 into 4 is 32 and 6 into 9 is 54. So we need to add the products that we obtain in the second step. That is 8 into 4 32 plus 6 into 9 54. 32 plus 54 is 86. 86 and 3 is already carried forward. 86 plus 3 is 89. So we take 9 in the answer and now 8 is carried forward. And the last and the final step here is to multiply both the tens places. That is 8 into 6, 48. 48 plus 8 is 56. So the answer here will become 5696. So let us take a few more examples to understand this. Now one more example here is 67 into 92. So as you can see, again split and merge will be a little difficult in such cases. And any other special condition is not applicable. So let us see how can we get the answer for this question with this technique. The 3-step procedure that we have learned just now. You know that the first step is we have to multiply both the unit spaces. That is 7 into 2. That is 14. So write 4 in the answer and 1 is carried forward. Second step is cross multiplication of units and tens places. So 6 into 2, 12. 9 into 7, 63. So 12 plus 63 is, but we also have 1 as carry here. 75 plus 1 is 76. So we take 6 in the answer and now 7 gets carried forward. And the last and final step here is multiplication of tens places. That is 6 into 9. 6 into 9 is 54. And 7 is the carry here. 54 plus 7 is 61. So we can say that the answer here is 6164. We can multiply 2-digit numbers by following this 3-step procedure. The first step here is multiplication of unit spaces. So that's like vertical multiplication. Second step is cross multiplication of unit spaces and tens places. And the third and final step is multiplication of tens places. That is again a vertical multiplication. What is meant by complementary numbers? Complementary numbers are those where the sum of the units places is equal to 10 and the remaining part of the numbers are equal. So any two numbers where the units place add up to 10 and the tens place or the remaining part of the number is equal are referred as complementary numbers. For example, 43 and 47. As you can see here, the units place of the first number is 3 and the units place of the second number is 7. 3 plus 7 is equal to 10. So units place add up to 10 and the remaining number, that is 4 and 4, tens place 4 and 4 are equal. So these 43 and 47 here are referred as complementary numbers. Similarly, in case of 72 and 78, we find that 2 plus 8 is 10. The sum of the unit spaces is 10. and the tens places are equal, or I can say the remaining part of the number is equal. And likewise in 122 and 128, we find that 2 plus 8 is 10. The sum of unit spaces is 10 and the remaining part of the number, that is 12 and 12, is equal in both the numbers. So such numbers are referred to as complementary numbers. The first step here is to multiply the unit spaces. That is similar to the previous case. First step is multiplication of unit spaces. So 3 into 7 is 21. Now as we have seen in the previous example, we write only 1 in the answer and 2 gets carried forward. But when the numbers are complementary, we can directly write 21 itself in the answer. So 3 into 7, 21 comes in the answer. And the next step here is the remaining part of the number, that is 4 into the next higher whole number. So the number which comes after 4 is 5. So 4 into 5, 20. So that 20 is the remaining part of the answer. So as you can see here, multiplication of complementary numbers is a very simple process. First, we multiply the unit spaces and write the result in the answer, and then take the tens place and multiply with the next integer, that is 4 into 5, 20 comes in the answer. So there are only 2 steps for multiplication of complementary numbers. Likewise, in case of 72 and 78, we can say that the answer should be 2 into 8, 16, and 7 into the next number. 7 into 8 is 56. So the answer here will be 5616. 122 into 128. Now as you can see here, unit spaces are 2 and 8. So 2 into 8 is 16, and the remaining part of the number here is 12. So 12 into the next integer, that is 13. 12 into 13 is 156. So the answer here is 15616. And likewise in the last case, we have 181 and 189. That means these are complementary numbers. So 1 into 9 should be the first step. 1 into 9 is 9. So in the answer we have to take 9. But remember friends, here 1 into 9 is 9, but we cannot write directly 9 in the answer. Why? Because in the first step we always have to take a 2-digit number. Like in all these cases, you can see that the first result was 21, 16, 16 and so on. So here also it has to be a 2-digit number. So 9 should be taken as 09, otherwise we get a wrong answer. And the next step would be 18 into the next integer, 18 into 19. 18 into 19 will be 342. So the answer here is 34209. So this is how we can multiply complementary numbers in 2 simple steps. The first step is multiplication of unit spaces. So whatever result we get, that has to be taken in the answer. And the next step is multiplication of the remaining part of the number with the next higher integer. Let us now see how to simplify the process of multiplying 3-digit numbers. We very well understand that multiplication of 3-digit numbers is a lengthy procedure and it takes a lot of time. The first step here would be to multiply the unit spaces. That is same as what we have done in case of 2-digit multiplication. So in the first step we multiply both the unit spaces. 4 into 6, 24. So 4 is in the answer and 2 gets carried forward. The second step is to cross multiply unit spaces with tens places. So 8 into 4, 32. 2 into 6, 12. 32 plus 12 is 44. 44 and 2 is the carry. So 44 plus 2 is 46. So we take 6 in the answer and now 4 gets carried forward. So as you can see, the first 2 steps are quite similar to what we do in case of 2-digit multiplication. The first step is unit space multiplication. Second step is cross multiplication of unit space and tens place. And now comes the third step, which is the most important one. Here we multiply unit spaces with hundreds places of opposite numbers and the tens places and add all these 3 products. So unit spaces have to be multiplied with hundreds places. That's like again a cross multiplication of units and hundreds places. And at the same time we also have to multiply the tens places. So 3 into 4 is 12. 7 into 6 is 42. 12 plus 42 is 54. And 8 into 2 is 16. 54 plus 16 is 70. So multiplication in the third step gives us 70 as the answer. We multiply hundreds place with unit spaces of opposite numbers. 3 into 4, 12. 6 into 7, 42. 42 plus 12 is 54. And multiplication of tens places. That is 8 into 2, 16. 54 plus 16 is 70. 70, and we know that 4 is the carry forward. So 70 plus 4, 74. So we take 4 in the answer and now 7 gets carried forward. So that is how we finish the third step of multiplication. Now in the fourth step, we have to cross multiply the tens places with hundreds places. So as you can observe, fourth step is similar to step number 2. Whatever we had done for these two columns in step 2 should now be done for these two columns in step 4. That is cross multiplication of tens places with hundreds places. So 3 into 2 is 6 and 7 into 8 is 56. 6 plus 56 is 62 and 7 is the carry. 62 plus 7 is 69. So we get 9 in the answer and now 6 is carried forward. And now the last step here is multiplication of hundreds places. That is 3 and 7. 3 into 7 is 21. 21 and 6 is the carry. 21 plus 6 is 27. So we can say that the final answer here is 279,464. That is 2,79,464.